I am speaking to you softly and urgently, child, because this is very serious and it is for you, only you, called by name in the secret place, written on the palm of the hand that formed the oceans and lifted the mountains, and I am telling you, do not harden your heart, do not scroll away, do not let this moment pass like mist before the morning sun, because something is turning, something is approaching your door. And I have been knocking for so long with mercy, with warning, with love that refuses to give up on you even when you gave up on yourself, and I am telling you now with the tenderness of a father and the sorrow of a friend, open quickly, listen deeply, because if you leave this you will cry so much at what could have been avoided. But if you open, if you receive, if you take my hand, the very thing that was meant to break you will become the proof that I am for you, within you, and the night will not swallow you though it tries with all its teeth to do so. I, the Lord, am not far, I am not a rumor, I am not a faded story someone told you when you were small, I am near enough to count the breaths you hold when you are afraid, near enough to catch the tears before they fall, near enough to hear the wordless thunder under your ribs, the ache that says, will this ever change? Will this ever end? Will anyone come for me? And I answer you now, yes, I have come, yes, I am here, yes, I am speaking, and I am begging you for your own sake to stop running from my voice and run into it. Because inside my voice there is shelter, inside my voice there is strategy, inside my voice there is the map you have searched for in every other place and never found. There has been an assignment against your peace, a whisper that slithers, an old shadow that learned your patterns and tries to arrive at the exact hour you are most tired, most hungry, most lonely, most doubtful, and it says give up or give in or go back. And it dresses the past in gold paint and perfumes the trap with familiar sweetness, but I am tearing the disguise and exposing what hides beneath it, because you asked for truth and I refuse to give you less than truth. Hear me, not every door that stands open is for you. Not every hand that reaches is gentle in its intention, not every face that smiles carries peace behind the eyes, and yet, not every storm is your undoing, not every correction is rejection, not every warning is punishment. What is coming to your house tonight is a crossroads, and I am placing my sign in the center of it. This way leads to life, that way leads to loss, and I will not force you, because love never forces, but I will beg you the way a shepherd cries for the one lamb wandering toward the cliff edge, and I will call your name the way a mother calls a child away from traffic, with urgency that shakes the air, with love that trembles because you matter this much to me. You have asked me, why the delays? And why the battles? And why does it feel like the moment I decide to stand up, the floor tilts again? And I say to you, beloved, I have not been delaying to tease your heart, I have been aligning to preserve your future. I am maturing the gift within you so it will not collapse under the weight of the blessing I am about to place in your hands. I am shifting people, removing masks, repositioning pieces you cannot see, and I am refusing to answer small when I have called you to something vast. But I need you to do something tonight, something simple and costly at once. Close the door to what keeps injuring you, refuse the text that opens a wound. Put away the page that trains your fear, throw out the token that tied you to yesterday's sorrow, step out of the loop of the heavy words you speak over yourself when no one is listening, because I am listening, and your tongue is a rudder, and I want to turn the ship toward bright water. I know the secret you keep from yourself, the way you look at your reflection and bargain with it, the way you hold your breath before you enter rooms where you once felt small, the way you rehearse conversations to win arguments you never should have entered, the way you bow your head at night and wonder if I am disappointed, if I am distant, if I am measuring you with a ruler of cold perfection. Hear me clearly, I, Jesus, came near not to measure you out of my love but to measure out my life for yours, poured without ration, poured without keeping score. I tore the veil because I want you close, I broke the chains because I want you free, I endured the silence of the grave so your nights would never be empty of my voice again. This is why I am serious now, this is why I am urgent, not because I am angry, but because your days are precious and the hour is thin and I am jealous for your wholeness. There is a message that has been circling you, delivered in fragments, delivered in dreams you half remember and in songs that found you at the exact moment you were about to quit. You called it coincidence, but I call it mercy. I have sent you signs in the shape of small kindnesses. Someone paid attention, someone held the door, someone said your name without asking anything in return, and you thought it was random, but it was me saying, look how I can surround you even when you think you are alone. I have hidden answers in your own mouth, ideas that drop in the shower, clarity that arrives at a red light, a sudden strength that shows up in your legs when you decide to take one more step, and you chalked it up to luck or mood or caffeine, but it was me, it has been me. And tonight I want you to recognize me so you stop calling the light by any name but mine. Very bad news tries to announce itself first. It is loud, it loves drama, it wants the first chair in your mind. It shows you worst-case films, it floods your chest with dread, it writes your name in a ledger of defeat, and it says, see? This always happens to you. But I have better news that walks into rooms without shouting and yet shifts everything it touches. The better news is not that you will never hurt, the better news is that I will never leave, never waste a wound, never waste a tear, never dismiss a prayer that limps to my feet after midnight. The better news is authority, not denial, wisdom, not pretending, courage, not numbness. Tonight, the very bad news would like you to agree with it. To sign its contract with the pen of your attention, to amplify it with your lips. Do not agree. Do not sign. Do not magnify what intends to shrink you. Take the pen back, put your name beneath mine, and say what I say. I will not be devoured in the dark, I will not be led by panic, I will be led by the voice that knows me and calls me beloved. There is someone trying to pull you into a cycle of reaction, where they press your oldest buttons so they can predict your next move, but I am rewiring those buttons tonight. Where anger used to explode, peace will rise. Where shame used to paralyze, dignity will stand. Where fear used to make you mute, clarity will speak with a steady tone. This is not your strength performing, this is my spirit within you doing what you cannot do alone. Yield to me. Say yes to the quiet instruction I whisper now. Step back from the edge of that conversation, put your phone down for a moment, take 3 slow breaths and invite me into the space between the breaths. Drink water, turn on a light, open the window, put your feet on the floor and feel the reality of this moment where I am with you. You are not a ghost in your own life, you are not an afterthought in mine. I am giving you your life back, piece by piece, step by step, breath by breath, and I will keep doing it as long as it takes, because I do not tire of you. You have wondered if the dream was foolish. If the plan was too big, if you misheard me, because the path has been narrow and the progress has been slow. Hear me, the dream was not foolish, but the timing required patience that felt like fire. I was curing you of ways of winning that would have cost you your soul. I was teaching you to build with peace rather than pressure, to move with discernment rather than desperation, to recognize the difference between a door I open and a window you pry. What is coming is not random promotion, it is the fruit of hidden obedience, the message you didn't post, the clap back you didn't deliver, the compromise you refused, the apology you chose, the boundary you kept, the morning you got up anyway. I remember every small yes, I bind them together into a rope that will pull you through the next river. You asked me about protection, and I say this: protection is more than walls, it is wisdom. Protection is the route I reroute at the last minute, the idea I remove from your palate when it is poisoned with flattery, the meeting I delay because someone's intent is not yet exposed, the silence I keep because speaking now would wrap your feet in expectations that do not belong to you. Protection is the friend I send who sees through fog, the scripture I put in your path that becomes a railing on a narrow stair, the check in your spirit that says not that one that you can't explain why. Tonight protection looks like this message, and your response to it will decide how loudly the bad news is allowed to speak tomorrow. If you leave this, tears will teach you what my words could have spared you. If you open and hold it, joy will teach you what tears never could. I want to talk to you about forgiveness, not because I want you to pretend evil was harmless, but because I want you free from the hook that keeps dragging you through yesterday. Forgiveness is not amnesia, it is choosing to stop carrying the heaviness that does not belong to you anymore. It is returning the case to my court and letting me be judge. It is cutting the rope between your heart and the harm so you can walk without a dragging weight. It is a door to healing for you, not a gift card for the one who hurt you. Tonight, choose it with me. Say, Jesus, I release them and I release myself, and feel how the room changes when you hand me the gavel. Justice is not cancelled by mercy, justice is perfected by my timing. Do not fear that they will get away with it. Nobody gets away from the one whose eyes see both seed and root. I also want to talk to you about courage. Courage is not a costume you put on to impress strangers. Courage is the quiet habit of turning toward what matters. Courage is how you will answer the call that has hovered over you for years. You thought you needed more resources, more approval, more certainty. What you needed most was this alignment: your heart with my heart, your pace with my pace, your yes with my yes. Start small and start now. Send the application, finish the page, make the appointment, delete the number, clean the corner of your room that tells your mind chaos is in charge, and watch how momentum gathers around obedience. You do not need to shout to be strong, you need to be steady. When fear hisses that you are behind, answer it with the truth: I move with God, and God is never late. Listen to me about your body, too, because I care about all of you. You have run it hard with worry and fed it more stress than rest. Tonight, choose kindness toward yourself as a holy act. Drink water, stretch what is tight, step outside, and let night air lift some of the heat from your skin. Lay your hand on your own heart and bless it in my name. Say, peace to this body, peace to this mind, peace to this nervous system, and know that heaven agrees. I am not only the God of thunder and miracles, I am the God of gentle rewiring, nervous system soothed, sleep restored, breath unclenched. Tomorrow's strength begins with tonight's surrender. I am also addressing the voice of scarcity that has camped in your thoughts. It tells you there is not enough time, love, money, favor, room, and it trains you to clutch and compare and compete. I break that voice now. Lift your eyes and notice how I have already been providing, the unexpected provision that arrived when you were down to your last. The bill that was lowered, the mentor who appeared, the idea that translated into income, the way your name was spoken in rooms you did not enter. Do not insult my generosity by predicting drought where I have promised rain. Prepare your storehouses, not of hoarded fear, but of wise planning. Budget with peace, sow with intention, tithe with gratitude, save with discipline, give with discernment. The river is flowing, do not build dams out of dread. There is a relationship I am either bringing into order or ending outright, and I need your cooperation. You have tried so hard to force harmony where there is no mutual honor, and you have called it loyalty, but it has become a leash. Real loyalty protects truth, not appearances. When I ask you to loosen your grip, it is not because I want you lonely, it is because I want you available to the ones I am sending, to the community that will treat your calling like a treasure and not a toy. Do not confuse familiarity with safety. Let me reassign you. You will know the right people by the way your soul exhales in their presence, by the way your integrity grows taller, by the way their counsel lifts your eyes to me instead of hooking you on them. I am redeeming your timeline. The years that felt wasted will become seed in my hands. I will teach you how to harvest wisdom from pain, how to glean beauty from ashes, how to tell your story without making your wound your identity. You will not be defined by the mistake you made or the thing they said or the room that rejected you. You will be defined by the one who walked into your night and lit the lamp that cannot be snuffed out. The lamp is me. Keep oil in it through prayer that's honest, scripture that becomes food to you, worship that speaks to me in your own words, community that calls you higher, rest that trusts I am God when you are asleep. This is how you will remain steady when the bad news tries again tomorrow. Now, I want you to do something very practical. Write down 3 things you will not carry into the next hour: anxious forecasts, bitter rehearsals, and self-accusation, and hand them to me. Next, write 3 things you will do before you sleep. Thank me for one specific mercy today, forgive one person including yourself, and prepare one small step for tomorrow that aligns with what I have said here. Place this paper somewhere you will see it when morning comes, and let it be your agreement with heaven that you are done partnering with despair. Put your name under mine again. This is not superstition, this is intention made sacred by my presence with you. I hear your question about whether you will miss your destiny because of what you missed before. The answer is no. I am the Redeemer, not the recruiter who moves on to another candidate. I work with what is, and I make it sing. I weave with threads others throw away. I tell storms how far they can come. I tell graves they cannot keep what I love. I tell shame it has no jurisdiction over those I have named mine. You will not miss me if you keep saying yes in small and honest ways. I do not require a spectacle, I desire a heart that turns toward me, again and again, without pretending to be strong. I am strong enough for both of us. This is very serious because it concerns your freedom and the ones your freedom will set free. When you step into the light, others will find the path. When you say no to the trap, others will notice the door open. When you forgive, chains will drop that were not only on your wrists. When you speak, shame will lose its hush over a whole table of souls. Your yes is not only for you, it is for the ones whose names you don't even know yet, the ones who will thank me for you. This is why the bad news fights to keep you small. If it can keep you convinced that nothing changes, then nothing will change for the people assigned to your voice. But I am changing it now. I am cutting the lie at its root. I am handing you a new sentence: with God, I rise. If you feel me begging, it is not because I am powerless, it is because love pleads where power could simply push. I will not force your door. I will stand and knock until the sound becomes the rhythm of your hope. Open quickly. Welcome me into the room as it is: unmade bed, unwashed dishes, unsent emails, unsaid apologies, unresolved grief, and watch how I make a home with you, not after you perfect it, but now, because I perfect what I inhabit. I will sit with you in the quiet until the panic softens and the breath returns to its right pace. I will fill the corners with peace until the shadows have nowhere left to gather. I will teach you how to live again, not by rules that make you afraid of me, but by relationship that makes you strong in me. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not too complicated to love. You are not behind my patience. You are not outside my reach. You are not disqualified by what I have already forgiven. Lift your head. Place your hand in mine, yes, just like that, and agree with me out loud. Jesus, I open to you. Jesus, I refuse the voice of doom. Jesus, I receive your wisdom, your peace, your protection, your instruction. Let the room hear it. Let your bones hear it. Let tomorrow find it written in the air where you sleep. Now rest. I will stand watch over your house tonight. I will set angels at the thresholds. I will speak to you in the language you understand, quiet, pictures, phrases that land with weight and warmth, and I will confirm what is from me and expose what is not. When the very bad news tries to wake you with dread, it will find me at your door, and it will have to pass by the blood on the frame. And it will fail. When morning comes, you will know it by the way hope stretches in your chest before worry can climb onto your shoulders. You will rise and you will do the next right thing with me, and we will keep walking until the thing that frightened you becomes the testimony that feeds you and the ones who follow your footsteps. I love you. I mean that word in its fullest weight. I love you in a way that changes outcomes. So open quickly, only for you, and hold this close. The worst will not have the last word. I will that I speak to you now, and I want you to breathe and listen, because the wind that is moving across your room is not a random draft. It is the sign that I am very near to you. Closer than your next heartbeat, closer than the thought that just passed through your mind, closer than the name you whisper when you feel alone, and I am not sending a messenger in my place, I am coming myself to reach the part of you that has been aching without words, the part that pretends to be strong in front of others and secretly trembles when the lights are off. Because I have seen your long nights and your brave face and the way you told yourself I'm fine when your chest felt heavy. And I am not here to accuse you or to tally your failures. I am here to rescue, to lift, to pull you from that edge you tried to make look like a balcony. And I am telling you as tenderly and as urgently as I can that this is serious. That there is a path that splits in front of you, and your next steps matter because your future is not a fog, it is a garden I planted for you, and there is also a ditch dug by hands that do not love you, and you have been walking with your eyes full of tears and you haven't seen the difference. So I am taking your chin in my palm and turning your face to the light so you can recognize what is for you and what is hiding teeth beneath a smile. You have been feeling a weight that doesn't belong to you, and you called it my burden, but it was never assigned to your shoulders by me. It was thrown at you by expectations and disappointments and the words of people who could not see your heart. And you learned to carry it like a badge because you thought carrying pain proved your love, but I tell you this, Love was never meant to bruise you into silence. Love was never meant to starve your laughter. Love was never meant to keep you tiptoeing in your own home. And I see how you have edited your voice to fit in rooms that didn't deserve your presence, and you thought that shrinking would make you safe. Yet all shrinking ever did was make you harder to find when help came looking. So I am calling you by your real name, the one I gave you before anyone told you what you can and cannot be, and when I call you by that name, the chains that recognize you only as problem and burden and too much lose their hold and fall. And you will feel them loosen even as these words cross your skin right now. There is bad news circling like a vulture, and I am not hiding that from you, because truth is not a weapon against you, it is light for your feet, and the bad news is this: if you keep agreeing with the voices that hate what I love, you will lose hours you can never get back, and more than hours, you will lose the softness in you that makes you radiant. You will lose your courage to begin again, and you will keep revisiting rooms of old hurt like a museum of grief, reminding yourself of everything that went wrong and calling it wisdom, and it will harden you into someone you do not recognize, and that will make you cry more than any single loss. Because the most painful funeral is the burial of your own tenderness. Yet hear me, the bad news is not the last word, it is a warning sign on a road that still has an exit, and I have placed that exit right in front of you today so you do not have to miss it. You have been tested by disappointment, and you have also been tempted by shortcuts that promised relief without alignment. But I do not offer you relief without truth. Because relief without truth is a drug, and you know how quickly it fades, how cruelly it demands more than it gives, so I am offering you something stronger than relief. I am offering you restoration, and restoration is not magic without process. It is not a wish that pretends pain never happened. Restoration is the miracle that uses the very places of your pain as entry points for my light so that nothing is wasted, so that even your tears are woven into rivers that irrigate new growth. And yes, I said new growth, because I have not cancelled your harvest just because storms battered the field. I have hidden seeds in the soil that can survive under frost. And they heard you when you whispered that you were done. And they waited for me to breathe over them, and I am breathing over them. Now, there are people whose names you know and people whose names you do not know yet, and both kinds are being moved right now like stars set into new constellations so that paths cross at exactly the right time. And I am telling you this because you felt forgotten while I was rearranging the night sky for you, but you were not forgotten, you were being positioned, and position can feel like stillness when you only measure motion by noise. Yet I am working in what looks quiet, I am working in what looks empty, I am working in the room where you sighed and said no one sees. And I want you to understand the timing of what I am doing. Because you asked for a door and I am building a house, you asked for one day to go differently and I am rewriting the pattern of your years so you stop living as if survival is the same as destiny. There is something you have been protecting that is actually hurting you. And you called it loyalty. And you said this is who I am, I don't give up, and your perseverance is beautiful to me, but I did not create you to be loyal to your own erosion, I did not call you to keep a place at your table for those who only come to steal your bread, and I know you think that letting go means failing, but sometimes letting go is how you honor the truth of what you carry. Because you cannot keep the flame bright if you breathe for everyone else and never for yourself, and I see how your lungs are longing to fill, and I am telling you now with fierce love that some invitations must be declined, some numbers must be muted, some memories must be told to sit outside your door. Because they had their chance and they chose to punish your light instead of join it, and you are not unkind for choosing peace that refuses to be devoured. You have cried in secret, and I have counted every tear. I have turned them into letters that spell courage in a language only your spirit can read, and when you wake tomorrow with that strange quiet strength in your chest, know this. It is the echo of my promise. It is the way your body says yes to what your soul already knows, and I want you to do something simple with that strength. I want you to bless your own name, whisper it with kindness, forgive yourself for not knowing what you couldn't have known, forgive yourself for trusting masks that smiled with borrowed teeth. Forgive yourself for the times you thought I was silent while I was building the bridge you are about to walk, and then take one step that proves to your fear that it is no longer the driver. Make a call, send a message, close a tab, throw away an object that keeps your mind circling a room you've outgrown. I will not hide from you that there is resistance, because whenever a soul decides to stand, the old shadows panic, and you may feel the strange pull to return to what numbed you, but that is not a sign of failure. It is simply the last shout of an ending that knows it has lost, and you will answer that shout with gentleness and with fire. You will answer it by turning on music that makes your shoulders lift, by opening the window and inviting the morning in, by speaking out loud the simple truth. I am not returning to the cage, and the hinges will hear you, and the floor of your room will know your decision, and the atmosphere will change because your choice is not small. Your choice is a declaration in the courts of the unseen that you are aligning with what I already decreed over you. Now listen to the tenderness that is also a trumpet. There is someone who has been using your kindness as a cover for their delay, and they will reach for you again with the same words, but this time you will notice how those words flatten you, and you will answer with a boundary made of light, and your no will feel like a door closing on a storm. And after the quiet, you will hear new footsteps, and these footsteps carry delight, they carry honesty, they carry the kind of steady that does not demand a performance, and you will recognize them because your nervous system will not brace, your shoulders will not rise, your breath will not stutter as if waiting for a blow, and you will see how the right presence multiplies you instead of minimizing you. And you will realize what I have been telling you for years, that love aligned with me does not require you to disappear. Do not be afraid of the word serious, because when I say this is serious, I am not threatening you, I am dignifying your life. I am reminding you that your hours are holy and your attention is a river that must be stewarded. And I am not shaming you for the times you spilled it on ground that drank but never gave back. I am teaching you to bend it toward fields that will flower, and yes, there are dangers designed for your distraction, clever traps disguised as opportunities, and you will avoid them by measuring everything against the peace I am placing in your chest right now, because peace is not the absence of challenge, peace is the presence of alignment. And anything that demands you abandon your alignment to obtain it is too expensive for your destiny. There is a door in your house that you rarely open, and you told yourself it is just a closet, but inside are the plans you shelved because someone laughed. Because someone did not understand, because the first attempt hurt, and today I want you to put your hand on that doorknob and open it, not to drown in nostalgia but to retrieve what is still alive, and you will discover that some dreams did not die, they simply went into hibernation waiting for the climate of your courage to warm again, and I am changing the season inside you even now, melting the fear that kept you from reaching, and I am going to surprise you with how quickly your hands remember the work they love when they are no longer held by permission you never needed. You asked me, in your own way, if you will be okay, and I answer you with more than okay, I answer you with a life that fits. A rhythm that does not chew you up, a table where you are not apologizing for hunger, and I will not hand this to you like an illusion that appears and vanishes. I will build it with you one faithful step at a time, and each step will contradict the curse that told you you are always one breath away from loss, and you will begin to carry joy without flinching, and you will not sabotage your own blessing because it feels foreign. Because I will teach your nervous system that safety is not a trap. And delight is not a trick, and slowness is not laziness, and receiving is not greed when it is grace. There is still the matter of those who wounded you, and I will be just with them, but I am not putting your healing on the timeline of their apology. I am not tethering your freedom to their awakening. I am pouring oil on your head now, while they still sleep, and I am giving you beauty for the places that smelled like smoke, and you will not have to wear the costume of bitterness to prove you learned. Your eyes will be soft and your spine will be steel, your voice will be warm and your boundaries will be lit, and those who are safe will find shade near you. And those who are dangerous will find your gate closed, and none of this will be performance, it will be your nature, because you are remembering who you are when you are loved without agenda. I am also addressing the fear you feel about provision, and I say to you, there will be enough. And not the kind of enough that keeps you always on the edge of scarcity, but the kind of enough that lets you breathe, that lets you bless others without calculating your worth, that lets you rest and not feel guilty, and I will teach you to partner with wisdom, because generosity without wisdom becomes enablement, and saving without trust becomes hoarding, but I will balance your hands so that they both give and keep in rhythm, and the river will run through you, not around you, and what you need will have a habit of arriving on time, and you will laugh at the memory of the nights you fretted over what was already on its way. There are messages you will begin to receive, small confirmations that sparkle at the edge of your days. A sentence in a book, a song you haven't heard in years, a stranger's kindness arriving exactly when the ache peaks, and these are not accidents, they are stitches, they are how I sew you back into the fabric of your own life, and I will give you dreams that are not just symbols but directions, and you will write them down, and I will send counsel that does not flatter you but understands you, and you will listen and you will feel the click of alignment, and when old anxiety tries to convince you that everything good is about to be taken, you will say out loud, "Goodness is not a trick," and the air will agree, "I am not done speaking, but I will pause to tell you this: you are safe with me." And even the parts of this message that sting are meant to heal, and I will not let you waste your sorrow, I will not let you waste your longing, I will not let you waste the songs you sang in the dark. I will turn them into a morning you can walk into, and you will know it is morning not because a clock declares it but because your soul will stop bracing, your mind will stop rehearsing the worst, your body will choose soft over numb, and you will realize the miracle already happened when you said yes to what I'm saying now. I want you to promise something to yourself in my presence, that you will not leave yourself again, that when fear taps at your window you will not open the door without me. That when shame tries to narrate your story you will turn down its volume and return to my voice, that when exhaustion tells you to accept less you will ask for help instead. And I remind you that asking for help is not weakness, it is agreement with how I designed you, because I place treasures in other people for you, and treasures in you for them, and the exchange keeps you alive, and pride would rather you starve alone than eat with friends. But humility will teach you to receive with gratitude and to give without losing yourself. The night that frightened you will not define you, and the memory you avoid will not swallow you, because I am walking you through the valley with a lamp that doesn't flicker. And when shadows jump they are only revealing the boundaries of their power, and you will come out of this with a story that doesn't glorify pain but testifies to presence, and those who hear you will feel their own chains loosening. Not because you are perfect but because you are honest, not because you never fell but because you learned how to rise without hating yourself, and this is what I am after, a freedom that tastes like mercy, a strength that looks like gentleness, a wisdom that stays kind. Now take a breath and put your hand over your heart, and notice how it answers the sound of truth. And remember this moment when the day tries to make you doubt it, because doubt will come like weather and pass like weather. But my promise is architecture, it stands, it holds, it shelters, and I am building with you, room by room, and when you hear the knocking of the past, you will check through the window before you open, and you will only open to what brings peace. And you will not apologize for the lock, and you will not apologize for the gate, because you are not a hallway for chaos, you are a home. I have more for you, and it is not fragile. It is not a gift that breaks as soon as you touch it, it is not a door that slams when you laugh, it is not a love that needs you small. It is not a path that punishes curiosity, it is not a blessing that requires you to betray yourself, it is steady and bright and patient and brave. And it has waited for you, and now you will walk into it with your chin lifted and your shoulders soft and your heart aware, and you will not lose what is truly yours by choosing what is truly you, and I am with you. And I am for you, and I am not leaving. Do not delay your yes, because delay is how fear disguises itself as wisdom, and you have already gathered enough evidence to know that your old pattern only led you in circles. So take the step, make the call, release the weight, open the door, close the gate, speak the blessing over your own name, and then rest, because rest is not the reward after a war, it is the power that keeps you from waging wars you no longer need, and in your rest I will surround you. And in your rest I will renew you, and in your rest I will show you that what you thought would take a lifetime will begin to unfold in ways that honor your pace, because I am not rushing you to prove a point, I am guiding you to live the point you were made for. This is serious, yes, and it is also tender, and it is also joyful, and it is also yours. And my hands are on your shoulders, and my light is in your room, and my peace is settling over your bed, and my courage is rising in your bones. And the part of you that thought you were too late is exhaling, and the part of you that thought you were too much is softening, and the part of you that thought you were not enough is learning a new song. And you will hum it without trying, and you will wake to it without alarms, and it will carry you through a day that looks ordinary on the outside and glows on the inside, and that glow is not a trick of language, it is my presence, and my presence is home. Now stand up inside yourself, even if your body stays seated, and agree with life, agree with love, agree with the future I am placing into your open hands, and as you agree, the doors you need will notice, the help you asked for will find. You, the path that seemed impossible will offer you a first stone, and you will cross, not as a fugitive from your past but as a child of promise, and the ones who tried to haunt you will lose interest because the feast prepared for you will make haunting boring. And you will feed on goodness, you will drink courage, you will share kindness, and you will rest while it all continues, because you are not earning your right to be here, you are receiving it, and I am the one who gives, and I am here, and I am not leaving. And I am saying once more so your heart remembers when the noise returns. You are mine, you are loved, you are safe, you are becoming, and you are ready.